Hey, it's Scott from Scott on Security. Wow, where do we start today? We are living in unprecedented times, and I don't want to go into panic mode. I don't want to flame any fans around panic. But yeah, matter of fact, maybe I'm going to get myself in a little bit of trouble here. Around the office, we've been kind of jokingly referring to what's going on with the coronavirus is kind of like the zombie apocalypse, because the amount of people that are now going, hey, we still need to operate, which is true. How do we get remote connected to our office? Hey, we're thinking about installing this free Remote Connect software. What's this look like? You know, what we're learning is that we really weren't very well prepared and forward thinking with some of our disaster recovery plans and how we're going to work. You know, how are we going to get our phones to transfer over? How can people still call us and operate? How do we get remote connected into our office? Listen, here's the sad part. The bad guys are using this opportunity to step up their game to attack us, from sending phishing emails to your employees, to infected websites, the John Hopkins website keeping track of the numbers of the outbreak. The bad guys have figured out how to, put bad links. So they use crazy topic headlines on social media, on websites, to try to get you to their site and then click their special link to the John Hopkins map, and it installs some ransom, or well, it can be ransom, but other virus software onto your computer. The bad guys have stepped up their game. Just at the same time, we business owners and executives are trying to figure out, how do we keep operating in these troubling times? So we have to make sure that we're doing this remote connection, remote working stuff safely and securely, and telling our staff, watch out for these scams. You know, I've talked about the rest test many times before. You know, if it's requesting your personal information and they're using emotions, and Lord knows there's a lot of emotion going on with this situation. If the spelling and grammar is off, and think before you click that link. Hover over it to see where it's going to. If the advertising or the headlines are saying, hey, check out the John Hopkins coronavirus update site, and that link is not going there, it's routing you through a different spot, that's problematic. So you got to be training your people. And the other thing you got to think of when we're working remotely, I was just talking, and I wasn't going to bring this up, but I was just talking to a peer. And the reason I wasn't going to bring it up is I don't want to create additional panic or uproar. But my peer is in the San Francisco Bay Area. And as you may or may not have heard, the counties there have instituted a lockdown. Like everything, everybody, locked down. Businesses closed. The counties apparently are calling different businesses and saying, hey, you've got to close. And there's penalties, and there's a whole bunch of stuff that goes with that. So it makes for some interesting thoughts. So if you were thinking, okay, we had some of our employees able to work remotely, what happens now if you've got to have everybody? Well, if your internet connection is slow, and what do I mean by that? You've got a small amount of bandwidth going in. So think of a garden hose, right? You've got so much space to go through that. And if every remote connection is kind of a little offshoot to your hose, what happens over time? That pressure drops, the speed drops, you can't get enough water out. Similar thing's going to happen with remote connecting if your bandwidth at the office can't handle it. And if that's the case, you now have to start prioritizing who should be remote connecting. You know, maybe your accounts payable, receivable, maybe your sales guys need to be getting in there. Maybe your production staff aren't able to work because they can't physically go into the office and touch things. Do they really need remote access to their computers? These are the type of questions you got to be thinking about. And hey, look, if you got questions around remote access, make sure to talk to your IT folks. And if they're not able to give you answers that make you feel good or give you some peace of mind, feel free to send me a message. Happy to try to answer any questions you've got. And wishes for you to stay safe in these troubling times. And let's not lose our heads, because you know, we are going to get out on the other side. The other side is going to occur in society, and things will start to ramp back up. But we've got to get from here to there first. And part of that is to work remotely and do it securely and be efficient at it. So make sure you get the right facts. Oh, one last thing. I did have somebody reach out and say, hey, we're just going to install this free Remote Connect software. Problem with free, as I've often said, If it's free, you are the product. What do I mean? You install that Remote Connect software, chances are the company is kind of spying on you to see what you're doing, gathering stats and selling information about you. That's not secure, and it's not necessarily doing what you want it to do. And if they're going to be selling some information, could they be selling your email address? It's just a world of hurt. Don't do that. You want to make sure that you're using secure products. Talk to your IT guy. If you've got questions, feel free to send me a message, and I'll do my best to answer them. I know of my company, BeckTech, just getting hit with a lot of requests for remote support and remote setup, and it's continuing to spread. It's the hot topic because of what's going on. So again, stay safe out there. Thank you for tuning in. It's Scott on Security, and sending you lots of love. We'll talk to you again tomorrow. Stay safe out there.